Mes amis Team Blazy TV, moi aujourd'hui m'pa vinn faire un peu parler dans vidéo ça plutôt m'porter un témoignage qui fait un pile monde sur internet la saisi parce que Peofetèz célestial déclaré qu'il perd 10 fois wali après il te réveillé dans dormi ak yon bagay étrange k'ap sorti dans gorge mais il fait connaître que ça pas seulement un problème santé il te quoi que c'était une attaque spirituelle qui a rapport avec message prophétique li yo nous tout connaît que Peofetèz célestial son monde qui prédit un paquet de bagay et gros paquet de bagay li prédit qui arrive déjà et gain qui va arriver tout et depuis plusieurs années il fait connaître qu'il était recevoir message dans mais bon Dieu pour avertir monde sur ça qui venir dans monde là mais pendant il a parlé il fait connaître tout que la vie li changer net li subir raïsement menace ak en pile critique sur réseaux sociaux et dans vidéo ça Team Blazy TV moi li gen yon bagay qui rive qui fait li pas arrêter en silence encore obligé parler li vle ba yon avertissement spécial pour femme ak garçon yo ak parents yo tout parce que d'après lui même en pile moun a joué avec la vie yo sans que yo pas même connaît qui danger qui camper devant yo mais Team Blazy TV moi question en pile moun a posé est-ce que ça c'est un vrai témoignage spirituel ou soit c'est une histoire qui pral faire pile monde discuter mais Team Blazy TV moi on entre direct dans message Peofetèz célestial là en temps de causer.
It's the kind of video that oddly enough, even though it lines up with things that I have spoken for years and years and years here on the Master's Voice, even though it is perfectly in alignment with what the Most High, Yah, the everlasting God of heaven and earth, has said to me also for years and years and years. It's always different and it's always jarring when it has to be you that is speaking, when it has to be you that has the near miss experience, when it has to be you that has to do the explaining. In case anyone is wondering what is wrong with my voice, I do not have a cold. I am not sick. I'm not suffering from any form of illness whatsoever. I've lost my voice and I've spent the day in between dealing with my emotions, in between dealing with my personal feelings, in between dealing with the extreme, the excessive reluctance that I have to ever have to be making a video like this. But I've sought the Lord. I've heard the Lord. I've had the benefit of his comfort. I've had the benefit of his reassurance. I've also sought wise counsel, the leaders, the pastors who pray over me, take responsibility for me, people who have been walking with me for over 10 years, that are always there to give advice, that have always been like, I guess you could say, a fence, a ring around my life, around my gift, faithful stewards before the Lord who know me, who have in part had a hand in raising me. And that is why I know of a certainty that my gift is not a renegade thing that is running around on the internet, taking no responsibility for the things it says, having no accountability. Ultimately, the words of a prophet are accountable to God. Many people don't know that. They think that the prophetic office is something that anybody can enter. They think actually that all the five-fold ministry offices are cheap little dollar vans. Here in New York City, we have something called a dollar van. It's a car that runs just as efficiently as the main buses, but you just pay $2. The main buses are almost $3. The New York City metro system is almost $3, and so a dollar van will get you there just as fast, but it's not as pretty. It is not branded with the city's colors. When you see them, they just basically look like, I first used to think that they were very dangerous vans to get into because the windows are always tinted. They don't always obey the rules of the road, but hey, it'll get you there. And so a lot of people treat the prophetic office, they treat the prophetic gifts, they treat the prophetic calling of God, the apostolic calling of God, the pastoral calling, the teaching and the evangelist calling, which are not just only ministry gifts, whereby the person themselves is a gift from the hand of Yah, but the office itself is a gift in which when the person stands in the office, there is a perfect marriage between the office being chosen by Jesus Christ, the head of the church, and the person being chosen by Jesus Christ, the head of the church. And therefore, it's like someone who's perfect for a car getting into that car. When they get into that car, it's a perfect match. The car recognizes them by signature. The car knows them. The car has been programmed for that person's soul. And the intent of God, whether that person knows it or not, is that that person will serve before God until death. This is not a video for anybody's sympathy. This is not a video for you to look and say, the poor woman has had trauma. This is not a play for anyone's heart over me, because I've been hurt far more and far worse in the last 6 years. I pray to the Lord to keep me strong throughout this video. I pray to the Lord to keep me stoic throughout this video. I pray to the Lord that my voice will go into every home in which there is a woman who still thinks that the odds are in her favor for her to play around with these men. Any woman who thinks she is above what I'm going to discuss here today, any woman who thinks, well, that's the rest of you guys. I've got my tips, I've got my tricks, I've got my my swagger, and I've got common sense, I've got street sense. You church girls, you don't know anything. That woman should be the first one to get herself sat right now in front of this video, and to not leave here until the last reel plays, until the last click plays. I am not on the internet right now for anyone's sympathy. I tried to wait all day, taking zinc and taking whatever I could take, hoping that the Lord would restore my voice, because He knows that I have a standard here for Him. I don't like to make videos when I'm too tired. I don't like to make videos when I'm so overwhelmed, but there have been times when there have been so many things going on in my life, so many things going wrong in my life. And then the Lord will tell me to take up your implements and prophesy. And in that is the training that the job and the call is above the fleshly need. So I am not here that we cry together. I am not here that I cry. I am here to say what God is calling a testimony. And that testimony is about one person. But wrapped up in that testimony about one person is the entire story of one particular thread that I have experienced ever since I came and sat here to bring forth the word of the Lord. I've never had those experiences previous to coming to serve here as the human throat that Yah will use to bring forth His message. This place is called the Master's Voice End Times Prophecy Blog. That is the full name. And I used to say in the beginning, it's very long, isn't it? It's such a long name. We need to give it a shorter name. And so the platform that you are listening to is called the Master's Voice Prophecy Blog, but the full name is the Master's Voice End Times Prophecy Blog. As I'm currently speaking to you, I woke up this morning with a metallic taste in my voice. When I say this morning, right now, it is Saturday, March the 7th. But I'm speaking of when I woke up on Friday, March the 6th. I woke up with a metallic taste, a heavy metallic taste in my mouth, blocked sinuses, terrible taste in my mouth. And I took up some paper towels that I always keep by the bedside to spit in, and this brown stuff came out of my mouth. And I was like, what is this? And I was speaking to my main intercessor, close friend. And I was telling her, there's something brown coming out of my mouth. There's something brown coming out of my throat and my sinuses. And it's only later when I got around to opening the curtains and everything that I actually... The fury of a woman, it doesn't stir up easy. And you cannot be so infantile, David Fawkes, that you would think that my fury was stirred up because I'm naturally crazy. And not because you came near me, you wild animal, and stirred it up by your sick and improper actions. That's all I have by way of introduction. The Lord has a message to bring. That's why I'm under my mantle. I was going to make this prophecy without the mantle, because the way that I hate to bring my flesh anywhere near this business, for this is the business of Jesus Christ. The Master's Voice Prophecy blog is a place of business. It's not a place where I tell you to sow your seed. I don't tell you to give me money. Keep me on the air. Keep us on the air. Keep us broadcasting. Keep us broadcasting. Sow your seed. Excuse me, please. I don't ever tell anyone, sow your seed. Sow seed. I need seed to stay online. Donate. Fund me. This is a place of business. It's open for as many hours as my flesh can manage to sit here. Right now it's 6:40 in the morning, and I haven't slept ever since I woke up yesterday. There's a bunch of us, we've been working all through yesterday, the 7th. All through yesterday, the 6th, Friday, the 6th of March, 2026, into now, Saturday, the 7th of March, 2026. We've been working. We've been looking. We've been digging. We've been doing what the United States Police Force will never do. But I'll talk about that. If I wanted help, I'd have to help myself. And so I'm sitting here under my mantle because the Lord told me to wear it. Because my function, my calling, my purpose is a car prepared for me before I was born. The calling was prepared before I was prepared. The calling existed in the mind of God to be his end times messenger before he then took clay and knit me together in my mother's belly. In the darkness of her, I was formed. And for that woman to be afraid because of you, and to cry, and to tell me, sweetheart, every time you put that camera on, my heart leaves my body. And for you to show up and make it worse. May the Lord repay into your life the seed that you thought you had the right to sow. I'm under my mantle, and I'm here in my call and my office. I would have come just as a normal woman, brethren, a child of God like anybody else, but the Lord told me, wear it when you go out, because not only are you speaking from me, the reason I am here to speak about something that has been going on for about 3 years, in addition to the abuse In the addition to the mocking and the scoffing, in addition to the reaction videos, in addition to the doxing, in addition to the racial hatred, in addition to the disrespect from the Black community, who still are capable of racial hatred. The reason I'm under the mantle and not just here as myself is because it was the Lord who was the final linchpin. Yes, I got the advice. Yes, I got the wise counsel. Yes, without telling the circle around me what I felt I should do. The people who pray for me, without telling them what to say, I allowed them to speak, and everyone was in agreement except myself. And the only reason that I'm here in the mantle is because when I was still conflicted what to do, the Lord said to me, Celestial, how do you know the pains of Isaiah? And how do you know the woes of Jeremiah? Jeremiah suffered so much and he cried so much that he's known as the weeping prophet. I'm not the weeping prophet. I'm known as the hateful nigger who hates America. I'm known as the lying serpent. I'm known as the prophetic witch. I'm known as Satan knows the Bible too, you know. The Lord said, how do you know Jeremiah's pain? How do you know that he was slapped, Celestial? How do you know that they put him into the toilet, the basement where all the human waste used to run until he was in the foul sewer water up to his waist? How do you know that he cried? How do you know that I once told him to buy land in his personal capacity, not as the prophet? And that's when my brain unlocked and I understand what God was telling me. I said, Lord, because he wrote it. He said, yes. The prophet's experience is intertwined with the prophet's path. You cannot separate. And I give all thanks to Yah that what I'm about to say is just the first tier of a full gamut that God wants me to let women know. It's women first, but not women only. Yah wants me to let you know that if you continue on the surface of this earth as you are, you will not continue on the surface of this earth. If you keep going, some of you, the way you are going, if you keep acting, some of you, the way you are acting, if you keep dressing, most of you, the way that you are dressing, if you retain the Babylonish, whorish harlots, good time girl mindset. I'm young. I need to enjoy myself. You only live once. YOLO, FOMO, fear of missing out. I have to get in there. I need to be seen. They're going to feel me when I enter the place. When you start leaving the house nowadays, you need to tell everybody in the house before your weekend in the Bahamas. Tell them goodbye with meaning, because some of you are not coming back. When you leave on a Friday and you think you'll make it back, but the weekend is going to be so wild that in your mind you're thinking you might only stagger back home. On Sunday morning, I advise you to make sure that your mother has the PIN code to your bank account and that she has at least the power of attorney for your 401k, because you're not going to live long enough to spend that money. You live carelessly now. You die cheaply later. You live carelessly now. You will die cheaply and for nothing later. It's one thing to sit and to speak prophetically and to warn and warn and warn, as women in particular, mock you and say, I don't know what's going on with the dishcloth on her head. I've heard it all. Oh, the witch is back. I see people. Oh, so the demons prophesy now. This video is for women first and foremost, but it's for you fathers. And it's for you, most dangerous of all, you brothers, you best friends, you bros, you group chat havers, you that are going to stand before the king with blood on your hands one day. If there's one group that this video is for more than the women, it's for you men. You naked Adams who don't know how to cover. You naked Adams, you are naked. You have lost your glory. You don't know how to hold one another accountable. You don't know how far is too far. You lack the moral foundation and the basic etiquette to know how far is too far. Your lust has taken over you. You are ruled by the delusional fantasies the fantasies are operating at the top of your head, but in the basement of your genitals, that's where the fire and the heat starts. And you can't tell the difference, and you think that you are interpreting it as God told me. You men out there, naked Adams who don't know how to cover. God will take the ether out of you, and you will go exactly where the uncareful woman goes, the negligent woman goes, the oblivious woman goes, the one who goes out and thinks that she is supposed to entrust her safety to others. My girls are with me. My girls will look after me. My girls are here. We're turning up what could go wrong. I'm talking to you moms who don't check your daughter's phones. You're watching your roses grow up, and by age 14, they start to wilt, and you don't know what's wrong. You don't know that your daughter has become the latest victim of the group chat. I don't really have a format. I only have a few things written down. But I'm telling you that if you don't pay attention, women, and I'm telling you, men, if you continue to think that disgusting heat inside you is what God created you to navigate by, to give in to what you want so bad that you are willing to appear a psychopath in modern society. And then when you are rejected, to turn around and all of a sudden become like Moses on the high mountain. God wanted me to see how crazy she was. God wanted me to see what was really going on with her, bro. You start off a worshiper, and then when you are rebuffed, all of a sudden the woman is crazy. She's crazy, bro. She's crazy. She's insane, bro. 1 + 1 always equals 2. The fury of a woman, it doesn't stir up easy. And you cannot be so infantile. David Falks.